specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to The Buzz. It is our final day of July, July 31st. And again, the other day I said, how did the time go so fast? How did July just fly by? But it's been flying by the past couple months at least, or I think the older you get, the quicker time goes. So that's what I'm noticing in my somewhat midlife that I don't like to admit to. Anyways, I am your host for The Buzz, Kathy Miller, and I'm excited for today's discussion because I've been hinting at a roundtable in regards to the proposed fishing ban. So that is what we are going to be discussing this morning. We're going to explore what this means for Cayman's fishing culture and traditions, tourism, local livelihoods, and the wider economy. Joining me this morning are leading voices across the sector. We have Caymanian fishermen, charter boat operators, and representatives from the Angling Club. I would like to welcome Jeremy Webster, owner-operator of Aquatic Adventures, Frank Thompson, president of the Cayman Islands Angling Club, and Josh Ebanks, vice president of the Angling Club. We will be joined at about 8:15 by Ronnie Anglin, president of Captain Marvin's. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Kathy.
Morning. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for
having us.
Thanks for entertaining my requests and for answering me.
For sure.
I think what I've noticed for myself in this past week or so, fishermen are a little elusive. Y'all aren't the easiest people to get in touch with. But when I do, I'm happy that you're able to take some of your time and come on Radio Cayman and talk about this today. So to get started, because we have a limited time, I know Frank and Josh might have to leave by 8 a.m. as much as I keep trying to tell them that I keep trying to rope them in a little later. I can call your bosses. Don't worry about it. So before we really start, I'd like for each of you to briefly share your connection to fishing in the Cayman Islands, whether it's family tradition, your livelihood, business, or a passion. What does fishing mean to you personally and or professionally? And I think, I was going to say, Frank, I was going to say, let's start with you.
Sure, no problem. So Frank Thompson, current president of the Cayman Islands Angling Club. Fishing for me is a family tradition. I come from a long line of seafarers, boat captains, multi-generational Caymanian, second generation Cayman Islands Angling Club member. I grew up in the Angling Club when it was formed back in the early 80s. Been on the executive committee now since 2007. And the club itself promotes sport fishing, primarily focused on offshore fishing. We partner with many different institutions and government organizations to promote the islands as a sport fishing destination. We have a very diverse membership of residents and visitors as well. And we're very proud of the accomplishments over the past years. Thank you for inviting us this morning to join the conversation on this topic.
No problem at all. Great to have you here. Jeremy, let's go with you.
All right. Well, everyone knows me, Jeremy Webster, owner and operator of Aquatic Adventures, formerly known, a.k.a. known as Aquaman 345. I've been fishing. Fishing for me has been a great hobby, something that my father has actually brought me into the realm of, I would say. It is sometimes it's so peaceful to know that we're getting out on the water as a child. I've been fishing from even the tender age of 8. My dad and my uncle as well too, owner of Webster's Tours, used to own a charter boat. And it was always inspirational going out to Stingray City and the sandbars. And, my dad was in taxi services as well too. So we were, my grandma, who Miss Rosa, was also in the whole taxi service industry. So the tourism industry has always been a part of my heart too, and I mean, it came on, so the water is just so close by, it's easy to get to the water, easy access. I would normally head down, grew up in Red Bay, Selkirk Drive, so I would normally head down to the sailing club, look at the boats, play around in the water, fish, a bit as well. My mom was always afraid of the water, so she wouldn't want me by the water, you know. But however, you know, I was still, my love for the sea has always been near and dear to my heart. Always used to see the boats going out through the channel and hope to be out there someday, and here I am, successfully operating my charter business from based out of the North Sound, and I feel great. It's always been a passionate part and a pastime, yeah.
I would think so if you grew up fishing and just being in the water and to now turning that into a business for you.
Right.
It would have to be a part of your passion.
Yeah.
All right, Josh.
Kathy, morning. Thanks
Morning.
again for having me.
No problem.
For me, I'd say fishing has stemmed from my love for the water. From a kid, you know, Mom would always take us to the beach, and then that turned into fishing. And she was a foundational person in that. Dad didn't really like the fishing much, but Mom would always make the time to take us to the beach, take us fishing. And that just branched into, you know, getting our first boat. That was a little small 14-foot South Sea. And, you know, over the years, that continued into a slightly larger boat to the point where I was able to get my own boat. And just being on the water, the peacefulness and the excitement that you get from fishing, that's always drawn my attention to it. And then through the love of it, I took a chance and started participating in the fishing tournaments. And after my first tournament that I fished, I guess I did pretty good because the Angling Club reached out to me and asked if I was interested in joining. So that kind of started my career there with the Angling Club. I think that was around 2012. So I've been there ever since, and it's just been a great opportunity to see others walk the same path or go through the same motion that I went through, fishing their first tournament, seeing them come to the scales with their first fish, the excitement that they get, and then seeing them turn into repeat anglers, or becoming great avid anglers, and then spreading that to their friends and peers and kids. That stemmed into, you know, we've now started for the last 3 to 4 years doing kids fishing clinics, kids fishing tournaments, and just building that historical path that I saw myself go through and sharing that with the rest of the wider community.
I love the idea that you have a kids fishing clinic. I feel like I need to join it. I'm sure there's a lot of everything I could learn. Yes, it's not too late. I am a child at heart. All right. Thanks, Josh. Yep. Thank you, everybody, for sharing a little brief introduction about yourself. So if we're looking at the subject from a cultural lens, fishing really, it's deeply embedded in Caymanian heritage. Can you describe the fishing culture in Cayman and why access to marine life matters to preserving culture and identity?
If you look at Caymanian history, right, we've always been tied to the water, so I think no further explanation is needed than that. It was a means of sustenance for many generations. It was also a lifeline from the seafarers and their ability to make a living and keep their families at home going. Personally, you know, over the years, as the population has grown, the island certainly hasn't grown any, so the stocks will come under increased pressure. But I think successive governments and Department of Environment, through ongoing modifications to the Marine Parks Law, because I remember when the Marine Parks Law was originally introduced back in the 80s, right? And it's always gone through iterations over the years. I can think of several controversial changes to it over the years, but, you know, people adapt it. I think the important thing is to work with the science side of it from the Department of Environment, as well as other institutions that we've partnered, the Angling Club has partnered with, such as the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. We've assisted with research on tagging sharks, mahi-mahi, or dolphin as we know them locally, and to make the research and the numbers help guide the decisions.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Anybody want to add to that question?
I would say it is deeply embedded in the Cayman heritage and culture, for sure. It is something, it was a lifeline, like Frank said, and it was a way of life. and we are seeing the return of that come back into effect in the younger generations, like even me, my age group and so forth, and even younger than me have actually came up to me even in the fishing stores and be like, oh, you got any tips and so forth. So it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's still something that is a love that everyone loves fish. Everyone loves to get in, and the water is right there. The sea is right there. You can see the different water lens. You can see where the deep sea is. You can see where the shallow bars are in Cayman. It's so crystal clear water. How can you not want to get into the water and make it be a part? So and then it comes into everyone wants to enjoy it, and that's not with not only being the people from Cayman, but everyone has a joy for it and a love for it, and with such easy access, you can't say no.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with that,
you just
too.
Can't say no. I'm telling you.
Fishing, from what I've seen moving here, fishing has been I can see kind of passed down through generations with families.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And I mean, great fish, great fun, great excitement, like Josh said. It's easy.
Josh, did you want to add at all?
Yeah, just briefly. I mean, I would say even looking broader than Cayman history, right? When you generally think Caribbean island life, naturally you think seafood, fish, marine life, and so forth. So definitely it's been a pastime. It's been a way of living. But the other thing that I think of too is we often say to people, find a job where you enjoy what you do. And a lot of people find that in fishing, and they make that their livelihood. And it's, whether it was mandatory because that was a way of living in the past, it's become an opportunity for people to actually make a living for themselves and their family by sustainable fishing and so forth. So I think we have that historical nature, but also other people just see it as a sustainable way of life for them.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the, I'm going to pivot now that you said that sustainable word. Mm-hmm. And if people know me and they listen to me often enough, they know that I don't like the word sustainable, but I think it's a marketing glitch. That's why I don't really like it. But when it comes to certain things, it's really important, especially when it comes to sustaining life. So the Minister for Environment, the Honorable Catherine Ebanks Wilkes, said in a government-issued press release that our marine ecosystems are under increasing pressure from overfishing and climate change, and that these measures are needed to protect fish stocks for future generations. So is this the reality that you're currently seeing, and was this the reality, let's say, 10 or 15 years ago?
Well,
you want to go ahead?
Well, I would say things have definitely changed in 10 to 15 years' time. We do have a lot of, we do have climate change as one. We do have overfishing, not only here in the Caribbean, worldwide and so forth. Things change, People are doing acts of not so pleasing kind of fishing, I would say, like long lining, using nets that are oversized, trawlers and so forth. So these things have a big environmental impact, and even how the return on the fish will come to Cayman, because as they travel through the Gulf, like for example the mahi, when they travel through the Gulf and come down and in the and then even like the wahoo when it comes down to like the cooler times, I would say. We are finding that these numbers are being wiped out before they even reach the Cayman. It's what I've researched and noticed.
Wow.
So when it's one thing to say that the people on the island they are overfishing and actually doing the wrongdoings. There is a next problem too when it comes to the ones who are doing the long lining and the what do you call it, the nets again, Frank?
Seine nets.
Seine nets, yeah, the big seine nets. They're huge nets and then they'll discard their seine nets too, which turns into a ghost net.
Okay.
Now a ghost net will trap hundreds of fish and destroy any fish that would be returning or just first come into Cayman to populate.
Now, are these commercial fishermen or just?
Well, they are. These are the commercial fishermen I'm talking about. We don't have those big trawlers and so forth here. Luckily,
Yeah.
we would see everything wiped out, even to the turtles. But I would say that is one of the big impacts.
We got to go to a commercial break right now, but when we come back, I want to hear the thoughts from Josh and Franklin when it comes to what the marine life looks now compared to 10 to 15 years ago, what the stock was then.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Sherman Erdis Ebanks, Certificate of Honor, 1915 through 1995. Captain Erdis was a pioneer in the charter fishing and diving industry, for which he received the Queen's Certificate and Badge of Honor in 1991. He introduced the sport of boxing to the Cayman Islands, for which he received recognition from the Ministry of Sports, Youth Affairs, and Culture. He was a pioneer in the taxi service and in Jeep rental. He served in the Royal Cayman Islands Police Force for 10 years. During that time, the Home Guard was established, and he served there as well, keeping watch at the lighthouses during World War II. He was married to Phyllis R. Ebanks, and the couple had 4 children.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Cruise into summer with expert service from Automotive Art Cayman. More than a retail store, it's your one-stop auto care shop. We offer paint, detailing, accessories, wheels, Yamaha parts and products, batteries, tire repairs, tire changes, and more. Need top-tier shine and protection? Grab Gliptone detailing gear, Chevron synthetic oil, and Axiom car care kits. Get expert service with premium products all under one roof. Wherever you cruise, make your pit stop at Automotive Art first. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. We are talking about the proposed fishing ban for non-Caymanians. And in studio with me this morning, I have Jeremy Webster, owner-operator of Aquatic Adventures. And from the Cayman Islands Angling Club, I have President Frank Thompson and Vice President Josh Ebanks. I asked a question right before the break about what the resources look like right now when it comes to marine life compared to, let's say, 10 or 15 years ago. Are we really losing our stock of fish?
That's a very interesting question, Kathy. And from my perspective, it can be split to two main areas. From the club's perspective, we focus mostly on offshore fishing, which are pelagic or migratory fish. So Jeremy made some references before the break to how those species are impacted by fishing in other areas, right? Because they swim around the Atlantic, Caribbean. Through research and partnerships with Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation and other institutions, we've actually tagged some of these species, and we have information data on their migratory paths. There's a lot of other scientific institutions out there that conduct research on these, and the data is easy to find. The other bucket that the fish can be allocated to are the reef fish or the inshore species that just live in the local environment, whether they hatch in the mangroves and then slowly migrate out to the reefs. They're impacted by what's done locally, right? So they don't get into that migratory pattern. Though that's the stuff that we need to pay attention to. And over the years, Department of Environment and past governments have done a good job, as I referenced earlier, with modifying the Marine Parks Law. I remember as a kid when they were introduced, there was some concern from the community that it wasn't necessary. I think over time it's proven that the regulations are necessary. I remember, in my teenage years being able to dive 20 conchs in the North Sound. That was the limit. And these days the limit is reduced. It's down to 5 per person or 10 per boat. The same thing for the lobsters. I remember when you could go out and legally get 15 lobster, and now the limit is down to 6 per boat. So as the population grows, and again, keep referring to the science, right? Through the studies and the surveys that the department does or other scientific groups do, we use that, or they've used that data to help formulate the laws. Cayman isn't getting any bigger, but the population is growing. We introduce more people, it's going to be a strain on the resources. I mean, you can look at traffic in the morning as an example, right? So the same challenges that you see on the roads, you can equate that to the marine environment. And finding a proper balance is important. From a club perspective, we have a very diverse membership. For decades, we've been promoting the islands internationally as a world-class sport fishing destination. So we regularly travel to the Miami and Fort Lauderdale International Boat Shows. In recent years, we've held a booth at the Palm Beach Boat Show. We've got over 25 different TV shows on our belt with a variety of fishing hosts from George Poveromo, Jimmy Houston, Jimmy Nelson, Misty Wells. Over the years, we've enjoyed the support of successive governments to promote the islands as a sport fishing destination. And in our tournaments, specifically within our international fishing tournament, we have a prize category for visiting anglers. So we welcome the discussion. We think it's healthy. These are just some of the factors that we think need to be considered in the proposed draft. And I'm sure that once all of the industry players get involved, the local charter boat operators, whom I'm very happy to say that we've observed the growth of young Caymanians back in that industry in the last 10 to 15 years. I can recall in probably the 90s where it was probably less than 15 Caymanian operators in that business. Now we're seeing a resurgence of that, right? Younger guys like Jeremy are the ones that are making up the industry, right? So if the impact on their business, on their livelihood, needs to be considered as well. The folks that come down from Europe, the North America, whether it's Canada or US, every year to participate in our tournaments, they have an impact on the economy as well. They contribute, whether they're staying with friends and just buying meals, or whether they're staying in a hotel, renting a car, airfare to come down. Hopefully it's, on our fly carrier, Cayman Airways, as well as boats that travel from Florida or even other neighboring islands to participate. They stay at the marina, they buy fuel here. So there's a lot of factors to consider in the discussion. And we're here willing to lend our opinion and our experiences. And I'm sure at the end of the day, we'll end up with a well-balanced and law or piece of legislation.
Has the Angling Club given any proposals? Because I know that government said that they received various proposals on what to do about a fishing ban or fishing restrictions. Has the Angling Club, as a club, put together any suggestions on how they could approach this proposed fishing ban?
At this point in time, no, we haven't. We've discussed as a club what that looks like, what the impact would be.
Mm-hmm.
But in our discussions, we feel, to Frank mentioned earlier, we got to look at the science of it. We got to look at the impact. We got to do our research and see how the proposed ban impacts the different aspects of the community. We all support conservation. We do see the depletion in the numbers, and it is a concern, for us as fishermen, for the pelagic fishermen as well. So in our discussions, those are the things we're considering. Obviously, we need the country as well as the Angling Club. We need the visitors. We need the tourism. That's, a big livelihood as well. But as we spoke to earlier in the show, when people think of islands and they think of Cayman Islands, they think marine life, they think fishing charters, fishing excursions, snorkeling, and so forth. So when we take that away, that also has a effect. So we need to understand what that, effect and impact looks like. And is there a balance? Is there a way that we can achieve the conservation that we need, but also support the level of tourism that we want to offer?
I know that, it's hard to say, because during the break, when I said, okay, is there a stance that the Angling Club, has on this? And if you'd like to share what you told me during the break about if you support this ban or whether or not.
At this point in time, we'd like to be a part of the conversation. Mm-hmm. We think the community involvement and engagement from the public is going to be very important. We want to hear the feedback from all of the stakeholders. It goes much further than the folks that are just fishing on the shore or from the boats. The tackle stores, they have a voice in it.
Yeah.
They have an interest in it. The local tourism industry, whether it's the taxis, the tour operators, and it's not just the charter guys that operate the boats as well, right? We have inshore charters, so we have guides that carry folks walking the flats to fish for bonefish, permit, tarpon, right? It has wide-ranging implications. So having everybody that is impacted by it around the table to contribute to that conversation, I think, is important, and will help formulate a balanced piece of legislation.
Great. I think those are great points, Frank. Do you believe, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you believe that this ban could have a negative effect on your fishing tournaments that the Angling Club hosts and on tourism and the wider economy?
Well, it isn't complete as yet, right? So right now it's just in draft phase and for discussion. And so I'm not going to offer an opinion on what it could turn out to be. What I'll simply state is that from a club perspective, we promote visitors coming to the island to compete in our tournaments. So we definitely would like to maintain that. Mm-hmm. And from even our membership that are charter boat operators, they benefit from the tournaments as well, because they have folks that come down from last year. I can recall a team coming from New Jersey to charter a specific boat for the week-long duration of the tournament, right? So we need to take all of these things into consideration and the impact that it would have. I previously did a stint on National Conservation Council. I can remember when a piece of legislation was presented to them that impacted the local hunters, bird hunting. some of the concerned hunters got together with a petition, presented their opinion to the committee, and it was taken, and the law was amended based on the position that was presented by them. As we know, what comes out in a draft isn't the final version, so we're very optimistic that the conversation from the community and the input from the various industry players will help formulate a very balanced piece of legislation.
Okay, excellent. Very great points, Frank. I think you brought some really great points up for everybody to be thinking about. I have to go to the 8 a.m. news, and I know they're going to kill me, but if there is a final thought that either Frank or Josh you want to leave with our listeners, because I know you guys apparently have to leave, let us know what your final thoughts are on this topic right now.
I mean, I would support what Frank said. He done a very good job of explaining the Anglin Club's perspective. I know Jeremy here as well from the tourism side. Maybe he can share his.
Oh, not yet. I have to wait until the news is done.
Okay. All right. No, from Anglin Club's perspective, I think we're solid there.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Frank and Josh, at least for coming in this beginning part. I know, Jeremy, you're going to stick with me, and then we're going to be joined by Ronnie Anglin from Captain Marvin's after the 8 a.m. news. You're not. I don't even want these guys to leave. There's so much information that they're providing. All right, we're going to stick with us. We're going to continue this conversation after the 8 a.m. news.
Thank you, Kathy. And studio time now is 2 minutes past 8 o'clock. Brought to you with the kind compliments of Foster's.
School starts here. Back to school equals back to busy, and Foster's has the food they need to fuel their day.
Our lunchbox legends are bursting with nutrition and support, like Taino fruit chips, organic juice boxes, protein packs, and all the fresh fruit they deserve.
It's everything you need for breakfast on the run, getting recess ready, and the after-school heroes to keep the whole crew powered up.
So fuel their focus with snacks that win every time.
Check out our in-store school zones to make it easy to grab exactly what you need, or shop online at fosters.ky/go.
Foster's, where better snacks fuel stronger days.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Kersley Fuller. A rezoning application is being sent to Cabinet. At their July 9th meeting, the Central Planning Authority resolved to forward an application to amend the 1997 development plan. The idea is to change an area's zoning from low-density residential and private canal to hotel tourism. The subject parcels are located in the Crystal Harbor area to the east of the Esterly-Tibbetts Highway along Crichton Drive. The Department of Planning says the land uses primarily include single-family residential homes with the Holiday Inn Resort and the North Sound Golf Club to the east and south of the subject property, which are within current hotel tourism zones. This amendment would slightly increase that zone, which planning pointed out in its written comments will have the potential to impact increased building height in the area from a max of 3 stories to 10, as is permitted in hotel tourism zones. Other items of note from the meeting: a green light for Mitzvah Development's 16-unit townhome development on Pedro Castle Road, as well as a 44-lot subdivision east of Farm Road in East End. There was also a thumbs up for a dock on Accent Key in Canal Point, as well as an application to expand the Customs and Border Control warehouse on Owen Roberts Drive by the airport. You can find the full summary online at planning.ky. And it's hot, like really hot. In June, the average max temperature clocked in at 92.7 degrees, which was well above the 30-year average, according to the National Weather Service. And July is looking to do the same. That's why government is taking the time to remind you of ways to help keep your home and utility bills down, with tips and resources to help you save energy and money.
Everyone is feeling the pinch of increased energy cost, and a quick look at our electricity bills highlights the increasing challenge that every consumer is facing.
Environment Minister there, the Honorable Catherine Ebanks Wilkes, when she tabled Cayman's national energy policy for 2024 through 2045. As part of that policy, government released an energy efficiency guideline. This includes little measures like making sure to turn off electronics, cleaning your AC filters, and keeping your windows and doors closed when you're running that AC. It also includes bigger wins like upgrading your roof insulation, sealing your appliances, or getting thermostat control. But you can find the full energy guidelines to help you pinch those pennies at gov.ky/energy.
No one should face a hurricane alone. Your kindness really could be someone's lifeline.
While you lock down your hurricane prep this season, Hazard Management Danny Coleman wants you to remember to add check in on your neighbors to your to-do list.
When a storm threatens the Cayman Islands, our most vulnerable family members and neighbours rely on us most. And a simple check-in can save lives and bring comfort during stressful times.
So who might need extra support? Seniors, folks with disabilities or mobility challenges, families with young children, and anyone without reliable transportation who may need to evacuate. To help, make sure you share your contact details with your neighbors. You can also help gather their essential supplies and medications, offer to help secure their home, and include them in your evacuation plans or even offer a lift. And don't forget to check in after the storm. Now with the Checkup International news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News. Ukraine's parliament has voted overwhelmingly in favour of President Zelensky's bill restoring the independence of two key anti-corruption agencies. It overturns a law he introduced last week, bringing the agencies under political control. Russia has bombarded Ukraine with drones and missiles, targeting the capital Kyiv, where at least 8 people were killed. The attacks came despite the US giving President Putin a new 10-day deadline to respond to demands for a ceasefire. The US envoy Steve Witkoff is meeting the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to try to salvage stalled ceasefire talks. International outrage is growing over the dire and worsening humanitarian situation in Gaza. A Palestinian man has died after an overnight attack by Israeli settlers on a town in the occupied West Bank. Settler violence against Palestinians in the area has recently intensified. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcade, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 87 degrees. Relative humidity is 74%. The barometric pressure 30.03 inches and rising. The wind is northeast at 7 knots. Overnight low was 82 degrees. Synopsis indicate light winds and slight seas are expected today, with a slight increase in showers expected for tomorrow as a tropical wave drifts over the Cayman area. Radar imagery show isolated showers mainly south of our area, moving towards the west. But the forecast for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of afternoon showers, and temperatures will be in the low 90s with a heat index near 107 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be a hot day. Winds will be northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Tonight we can expect partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of nighttime showers and temperatures falling to the low 80s tonight. Winds will be east at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet as well. Low tide will be in just a few minutes at 8:19, high tide this afternoon at 4:22, and a low tide again tonight at 10:15. Sunset 7, sunrise 3 minutes after 6, and the outlook is calling for a decrease in showers along with continued light winds and seas for the weekend. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Brit K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush. For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.com. or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a second location in Governor's Square. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Hey, good morning. Let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. From the east on Shamrock Road, traffic is flowing at a moderate pace in both directions. Further down on the Linford Pearson Highway heading to Georgetown area, traffic is steady. And steady traffic on Crew Road heading to Georgetown. Slight delay is expected. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, moving on moderately, as well as Agnes Way. As we look to the West Bay area, West Bay four-way stop flowing nicely on the West Bay Road. No issues there as traffic is flowing at a moderate pace, especially in front of the Ritz. And coming off of the SLA Tibbetts Highway, traffic is steady but flowing. And continuing on to North Sound Road, Industrial Park area, flowing at a moderate pace. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 12:15. We'll give you another look at traffic.
There's something new at Subway. Indulge your taste buds with our new barbecue pork rib sandwich tender. Smoky pork ribs smothered in sweet and tangy barbecue sauce, built just the way you like it. It's bold, rich, and seriously satisfying. But hurry, it's here for a limited time only. Order now on the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick in-store pickup, or get it delivered with Bento or Let's Eat. The all-new barbecue pork rib sandwich, only at Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Yummy.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Are you feeling overwhelmed, sad, stressed out, or suicidal and need support? Call 1-800-534-6463. K-Mind, Mental Health Helpline. It's okay to ask for help. K-Mind Mental Health Helpline, available from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday. It's free and confidential support and guidance on your emotional and psychological health.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Summer's heating up and the water's calling. From cruising the coast in your boat to riding Yamaha Wave Runners, Automotive Art Cayman will get you ready. We offer expert servicing by Yamaha certified staff as well as engine repairs, performance upgrades, engine and electrical installation, and more. Need it tuned, cleaned, repaired, or race ready? We'll keep you running smooth, whether you're riding waves or racing them. Trust Automotive Art for expert service and upgrades. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto RKY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and we are continuing our discussion. It's our roundtable discussion on the fishing ban. And if you're just joining us, this is about the proposed ban on non-Caymanians from harvesting marine life in our waters. So we're exploring what this means for our fishing culture and traditions, for tourism, for local livelihoods, and the wider economy. We had in our studio in the very first segment, we had from the Angling Club, we had president and vice president. So we had President Frank Thompson, and then we had Vice President Josh Ebanks who joined us. Also in studio that's still with us is Jeremy Webster, owner-operator of Aquatic Adventures. And just joining us right now is Mr. Ronnie Anglin, who was like, I know your face. I know who you are. Who I've only just got to know these past couple of days. And what a character. What can I say? I wish I really knew you long time ago. So president of Captain Marvin's, the longest, am I right? The longest running Watersports company in the Cayman Islands. Yeah. And the very first one I went on, and the one that I always do still go on, but now I'm going to have to share some love here with Jeremy.
Please do. Share it around.
All right. So, because you're just joining us right now, Ronnie, thank you so much as well.
Well, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking the time because I know you just got back on island and you have a lot to catch up on. But you're entertaining my request, so I appreciate you. Now, I want to know what your connection is to fishing in the Cayman Islands. Yes, I know you're president of Captain Marvin's, but take us back from your first memories to now. How involved are you with fishing?
To my first memories. You realize how old I am.
You're young at heart.
Well, I'll keep it as brief as I can. My first memories are, Saturdays. Everybody grabbing something from home. So you got a frying pan, I got some lard, right? We're going to catch some soja crabs, and we're going out and we're going fishing, and then we're coming back and we're cooking them. We'll go to somebody's ground and we'll borrow a cassava or something, or a banana or plantain or something or the other, and being very mindful that this is all we need, so we're not taking any more than that and stuff like that. Today, as you point out, I'm President Cap Marvin's Watersports. It's now in the second generation. Marvin Jr. and myself. Most people know him as Charles. But there are so many Charles Ebanks is on the island that it's a lot simpler to just say Marvin Jr. sometimes. So we own the company, and for the last 25 years, Cap Marvin ran it for the first 50. And we've run it for the last 25, trying not to screw it up. So we own 5 fishing boats in our fleet. We had quite a few more pre-COVID. After COVID, we decided we weren't going back to that. We were going to keep our company fairly small. It's probably one of the largest local companies.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at. So fishing is something that's near and dear to our hearts, and something we would like for our children and their children to continue to be able to do. So I'm here.
Can you describe fishing culture in Cayman and why access to marine life matters to preserving culture and identity?
The simplest thing I can say about that is we're an island. Fishing is very important to us. It's not like we don't have neighbors and around the world. We've seen fishing populations get dwindled down to little or nothing. We're pretty close to that ourselves. Our populations need to basically be given time to replenish.
Mm-hmm.
If you're taking the little fish before they have a time to have other fish, it doesn't last long. And that's where we're at right now. So something needs to be done.
So you've seen instances where population has gone down or dwindled to almost nothing,
Mhm.
but I guess measures have been put in place, and then you saw that population rise again in that particular species.
Well, we have a prime example of that right here.
Mhm.
Look at the grouper situation.
Yes, and I love grouper. Oh boy.
It's wiped in certain areas.
Yeah, it
But
is.
coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they stop people fishing in the spawning grounds.
Right.
Right? I'm looking at snapper. Same thing is happening with snapper.
No way.
Same thing is happening with snapper. When snappers are spawning, right? People go out and they catch boatloads of them. I see people with buckets of raw eggs.
Mhm.
Eggs,
right?
raw,
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not a fisherman, so you might need to explain things.
So I mean, if you're catching and taking all the eggs, it's not long before you don't have a whole bunch of fish left,
Mhm.
right? We still have a fairly healthy snapper, population, but if we don't do something about it, it's going to go the same course that groupers went. And it's better for us to do something now. I mean, we don't need to wait and ask about what's happening. We know what's happening. We got the green iguanas coming, right, as a
invasive species. Yeah.
And we knew what was happening, and then we didn't do anything about it until you couldn't drive down the road without hitting one,
Mhm.
right? We're faced with that same thing with snappers. So,
I didn't know that. That's sad.
well, I mean, it's most of our fish. It's hard. I mean, parrotfish.
Mhm.
Parrotfish that helps us keep 7 Mile Beach and stuff around, right? You don't see that many of them when you go out and you're fishing now.
I barely saw any diving. Never mind. I'm not a fisherman.
Back in the days, we used to see like the what we call the grog, the bigger parrotfish. That's like the galimbo.
The galimbo.
The galimbo.
Okay. Yeah.
Huge, massive parrotfish.
Yeah.
Their numbers have dwindled down. For example,
Yeah.
we have seen a decline in that as well too. Some that used to be swimming around just on 7 Mile Beach have not even come around. You don't see them as often, just on a casual swim or snorkel. What would be normally just where the last time I saw one? Long time ago. I would say Governor's Beach, for example. There, if you swim out a little ways out, say a couple yards out, 300 yards or so, there is a little small reef area there.
Governor's Reef.
Yeah, populated with fish still.
Mhm.
Parrotfish used to be on that reef as well too. Very little.
Yeah.
Very little. And I remember as a child that used to be a big spot.
Mhm.
My wife was reminding me of that a couple of days ago. I know I keep mentioning my wife a lot.
I know.
but
I'm a fan of your wife, by the way. I don't even know her.
You could hear the galimbo before you saw him.
Right.
Because he'd be munching, cleaning the reefs, keeping the reefs clean. And
So for
and stuff like
example-
that. And that is what becomes sand. Right.
So, for example, he says that they have a beak form in their mouth, for the front of their mouth,
Mhm.
and after they eat the coral and the rocks, it goes down into a grinding motion thing that makes it into sediment. So when they poop, it's sand.
All right, so I'm going to look at sand differently now.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
interesting.
Yeah,
it is a big thing, and that's why I think they. Correct me if I'm wrong. They have actually put out something before, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, in regards to protecting the parrotfish.
DOE did, yeah.
Yeah, DOE did, protecting the parrotfish of all different species of parrotfish, because they got the stoplight parrotfish, they got the grog, they got the big galimbo. They have
Yeah.
It's a wide variety of parrotfish, and they're very important. Very good tasting, but we have to protect them as well too. Sorry to say.
Taste the parrotfish, but okay. All right. Grouper is my favorite, so yes, we definitely need to protect grouper because I would like.
I
to
have
continue
noticed.
eating it.
If you notice when you look on Google, you can go and put in like groupers spawned in ground, Cayman Islands and sea, where back in the days, I mean, they never had the big coolers and all the ice that we have now. There'd be easily 100 groupers right there I've seen a picture before by where the fish market, by Cabana, where the fish market is. They're just all just open in the sun.
Wow.
So, and that meat will spoil quickly. So I can imagine how much grouper was spoiled back in the days. It's just wiped out. You want to go out and fish. It feels good to catch the fish, but what are you really doing? It's like me going out and saying, I want to catch 100 turbits. How am I going to clean them?
Right. Yeah, I know exactly.
When you say that, it reminds me of one of the largest spawning grounds is in Little Cayman, off of the west end of Little Cayman. And there was a picture in the paper of somebody with a smaller pickup truck, but the back of this pickup truck was filled with grouper.
Wow.
Oh.
Right? And he ended up selling a lot, but a lot of them just couldn't sell them.
You're right.
And you can't sell them in time.
And so they spoil and stuff like that. But
is that
we have to get protections in place.
Is that just being completely uneducated when it comes to fishing? So, because to me, that as fishermen, you guys know this when it comes to grouper, right? I had no idea that's a meat that spoils quickly, for example. But for somebody who doesn't know and is just trying to make a quick buck or whatever it might be, is this just a lack of knowledge on their part?
Well, I say half of it is greed, I would say, and the next half of it is excitement. You get excited catching the fish. You're not even thinking about how I'm going to clean it, how I'm going to sell it, how I'm going to preserve it to keep it cool in order for a sale probably 2 days down the line. You're just fishing. It's all about, in the mind, it's just about fishing. It's not about, all the other when you got this 20-pound grouper on, 15-pound or whatever size grouper on, you're not thinking, I need to protect the environment. It kind of clouds your mind. And the excitement does take over, which we have to be mindful. We have to get to a place now that we actually preserve this for future generations to come. Here I am, nearing 37. I can still see some fish that my dad used to tell me about when he was a child, still around. That's exciting. I would like my children to experience that as well too. I like my grandchildren and further on to experience everyone's grandchildren. And so for future generations. We need to protect it, and we need to start now, I would say.
So what is your take on this proposed ban for non-Caymanians?
Well, I would say, like Frank was saying earlier, it is important to have everyone at this round table, all the general public, the foreigners too. I mean, you can't go and just tell somebody that you can't go buy a fishing rod or a fishing pole or fishing equipment.
It was really hard for me to find a non-Caymanian to join this discussion, by the way.
Yeah.
That felt they wouldn't be, let's say, persecuted
or penalized in some sort of it is a touchy subject, Kathy.
Yeah.
Well, I did speak to several non-Caymanians. I spoke to several new Caymanians, and I spoke to several Caymanians. Most of the day yesterday, I was on the phone.
I know you were working for me. I know you were trying for me right there, Ron. So thank you.
Well, everybody shine away like, don't put me on stage like that.
But pretty much everybody understands and agrees that we need to do something. Right. Exactly what those measures are is something that, yes, we need to go ahead and talk about. But everybody, to a man or to a person, said the biggest issue we have is the lack of enforcement.
That's what I was going to touch on.
Yeah.
And that's been said by, I'm going to get his name wrong, so I don't even want to say it. Tim, is it Austin, DOE? I might get his name. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, sir.
Yeah, that's correct.
I believe he said that that was the biggest issue was enforcement and the cost of enforcement. And I brought this up before and said if we're having trouble just on our roads, period, with traffic enforcement, how in the world are we going to enforce, line fishing from the shore? Like, how do you enforce that?
A good,
or even out in the boats, really?
Can I take that, or you want?
Both of you
can
take it.
on. I can tail off after you.
All right, and then you correct me if I'm wrong.
All right, sir. To a better run telling me that. Come on, no. You'll correct me.
So, well, the first thing is we can't afford not to.
Okay.
Right? So we find ways to offset that. Cayman, for instance, doesn't have any limits on anything. We talked about the grouper thing before.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason. I mean, there's no limit. So if
there's limits on conch and lobster,
we
right?
have,
we talked about that,
yeah,
right?
Luckily we have.
yeah, but we don't have it on fish.
Right, on okay.
Yeah, yeah, and that's I should have clarified that, and thank you for doing that. See, she corrected me.
Yeah.
Right. So if we did that, then we would know, right? The reason why we're putting parrotfish into endangered species is because of this. This is what parrotfish means to us. The reason why we need to do this with snapper, and we don't need to do a whole bunch more than to say these are the spawning grounds. We know where they are, right? And these are the months and times that you can't take them. That you just can't take them in our waters. But if you're going to a place to buy a fishing pole and bait, tackle. I mean, the whole bit.
Everything.
Lures.
Whole works.
Well, I mean, one person said to me, a local fisherman said to me, well, one of the first things we got to do is we got to stop selling these little small hooks, right? Now, it might sound like simple, but if you don't got the small hooks, you can't catch the little small fish either.
Okay, because I know nothing about fishing, so that was going to be a question. So that's a big difference in the hook size.
But we can sit down, we can talk about this for a long time. The key thing is going to be enforcement, and making enforcement as easy as possible. Today, you can get into a car, you can have a drone for anything that's offshore. If you're offshore, you need we start licensing boats, offset the costs, right? We start charging for fishing license. That'll help to offset the cost. If you got a boat, you're Caymanian, you got a special license or something like that, maybe your boat numbers start with CI 00001 or something or the other. And if it's a pleasure craft and you're not for fishing or whatever, maybe it starts with P or something. I don't know. These are some things we can sit down and talk about. And so it makes it easier to identify by boat, right? If you get a fishing license, most of the places you go, if you're going to go fishing, you need a fishing license, and the fishing license comes with a ruler, right? And it says, it has a picture on it. It said, this fish needs to be this long before you can go ahead and keep them, right?
Wow, okay.
So you get one of these on your line, release it, right? So these are measures that we can put in place. Fishing license, renewals, all those things, it's not a lifetime thing. It needs to be annual, right? Or in the case of just fishing from shore and stuff like that. In the States, you can buy for a day, for a week,
or a
month,
right,
et cetera, right? And the cost just goes up as you do that. Those are things that we can offset the costs by. But the greatest cost is not having the fish there for, like Jeremy was saying, grandchildren and great-grandchildren and stuff. So we just need to talk about it, figure out how we going to best do this, how we can enforce it, and whether that just be, you got caught, you hear a license, you get caught, the boat is gone to the compound. You want a boat, it's going to cost you $500, whatever the fine might be. You don't agree with that, then you can take it to court, right?
Right.
Those type of things are things that we can go ahead and put in place.
Before, I just want to remind our listeners that they can call in. I didn't invite anybody to call in as yet, so you can call in if you want to share your thoughts with us. 1-800-534-8255, 949-8990, 949-6037, or 925-3261. That's the WhatsApp number to WhatsApp text or call, 925-3261. We did have a message that came in via WhatsApp. And it says, good morning, Miss Kathy and your guests. Parrotfish eat on dead coral and are so important because it stops the spreading of dying corals to others and makes room for new coral growth.
Yep, that's correct.
dying corals are infectious most times because a thing they have called RTN, rapid tissue necrosis, caused sometimes by foreign contamination like sunscreen, which our tourists are washing off when they're coming on shore here, when they're coming to snorkel. I think we also got a call via WhatsApp as well. Should we take the call right now? All right, let's take the call right now. And then, Jeremy, I know you want to speak on enforcement as well, right?
Yeah, sure.
So if you want to touch on enforcement, and then I'll have the caller give their comment.
Real quickly, it's no secret that enforcement has to be put in place. I've even seen from 10 years ago, there was an article by Gina Ebanks Petrie of the DOE that marine park expansions needs to happen now. That was the headline, now, right? So that was 10 years ago. Just imagine now.
Yeah.
The DOE has been going and talking about this for decades now.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole thing about the mangroves, protecting the mangroves. Now, fish do thrive in the mangroves as well too.
And sharks.
So so we need to have, like Captain Marvin was saying, we have to spearhead it, and we need to take action now. When you do implement licensing and fines and so forth, those funds need to go back into helping the DOE, I would say, with their resources to properly enforce these islands and protect the environment. I think it's just been, I've been noticing it's been more of a slap on the wrist kind of thing at times.
Yeah.
When it comes to DOE's fines, it needs to be more stringent now. The time is now, and if we don't have
harsher penalties.
Yeah, the harsher penalties in place, what will happen? We'll have nothing.
What you allow is what you encourage.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Caribbean proverb. What you allow is what you encourage.
Right,
so
right. Yeah.
We have 2 calls to take, actually. So we're going to take the WhatsApp call first. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Buzz. Oh, you're going to need your headphones. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Buzz.
Oh, yeah, good morning.
How are you doing today?
A little better than yesterday.
Okay,
hopefully
good.
getting better tomorrow.
Excellent. I hope so too for you.
Mm-hmm.
Share your thoughts
Yeah,
with
it's
us.
very daring and important subject that you're on. Means a lot to me as someone who knows the evolution of where we're coming from, where we're at. Morning plug. Good to hear you, man.
Thanks.
Morning.
Yeah. Just want to say that I agree. I just listened to the last 10 minutes, but from what I've heard, I agree a lot on the topic of restrictions and, trying to put things in place to enforce. You got a lot of laws, but they don't have much teeth, especially when it comes to protect our sovereignty. But things are a lot worse than most people think that it is. It's like almost to a point where I hear a lot licensing. That's the last thing you should think about right now. It need to replenish. We need to restock. This thing about licensing fish has gone to $10 a pound. You think you can license with the kind of people that we have that come and go? It's a survival mode they're in. Anything goes. You cannot be unconditional to the point where you can leave it to their discretion. That people can come here, pay a license and fishing. Then you can have some. You better have a policeman for every second person. It is here. What you got to open up also is maybe people like me trying to look into citizens arrest. You heard about that, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's still. No, it need to be a ban. You talk about these small fish, juvenile fish, and the situation that we're in with that. They're so important to a whole ecology to the point where a lot of the rocks along the shoreline is dying because there's not enough juvenile fish anymore to, take off the algae, the majority of the algae, so they can get adequate sunlight and oxygen. The rocks are dying, living organisms, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that served us well. Besides, those juvenile fish is also a food chain for bigger fish. When they disappear, the bigger fish will disappear. I said fish reach $10 a pound. You think you can get people to get a license and be, to the point where they're going to be law-abiding? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Things are in dire straits. There's no compromise on this issue. We need to close it off. And even Caymanians, it needs to be a restriction on the fish. If you want, as I said some time ago, extinction is forever. It ain't coming back. This is one of our greatest assets, but we found it on the seas. Well, let's start to put some money there, talk about this licensing to make funds to police it with all the money the government finds for their port projects and anything else that they can think about. No, man, this is a vital, probably the most important issue that we have as a national treasure. It needs to be guarded, and it needs to be a ban across the board, restrict to Caymanians the amount of fish for right now. The wisdom of a fool is to live for today and die for tomorrow, and this is what I see a lot happening. This thing has reached dire straits, boil now, but it cannot go on. It needs a cutoff. If not, it's just operation in futility.
I think you've raised some great points. Before you hang up, I think the gentleman might want to respond to the comments that you made. And I also want to say, before you hang up, offline with Susan, if you'd like to leave your name and number, if you want to join one of these discussions in the future, we'd love to have you on. So I'm going to allow the gentleman to answer you, okay?
You sure you want some? You sure you want
We'll figure that out later. Don't worry about it, okay? So I'm going to let these gentlemen answer you first.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm assuming I'm talking to her like, bro, you said a mouthful, and thank you for calling in, because it's important that people like yourself go ahead and call in and speak up and put in their 2 cents. I don't think that we're going to find, the one hat fits all type thing, but your suggestions are very, very true and on point and to point. You mentioned our locals, right? And you know as well as I do, we put in the zones and stuff back, and a lot of times our locals is one of the biggest abusers of that, right? Part of that is because we don't have licensing and stuff in place. We don't have ways. We do have ways to go ahead and prosecute. We're not getting that done, right? So I think more calls, more input, like you just gave us, is what we need, and we need to go forward with that. I think people need to throw out everything that they can, and then we take the things that we know that we can do, so that we get something done, and we get it done now. You're absolutely correct. It needs to be done now.
Jeremy, did you want to touch on anything?
I would say that's very important what he brought up. Captain Ronnie was saying as well too, that we need to implement some sort of licensing and so forth. Yeah, that's all right too. But when you think about going ahead and putting a ban across the whole board for Caymanians as well too, and you got to think about the livelihoods of some of these people, even they're in the industry, they've been in the industry. Myself have just started in this industry, so I understand that. But when do we as a country open that back up and start to fish again? It might be all free for all again, and take away from it might be even worse. Everyone will be fishing then. Can't wait to go fishing. So when do we stop and start? I would say it is important to have all these, like you said, caller as well, call into, and we have some healthy discussion. Even have you on the show, and have some good roundtable discussions about it, because everyone needs to be on with this, even foreigners, I would say, if we can get that as well, Kathy.
Yeah.
To have
I've been trying.
Yeah, I know it must be hard. It's a touchy topic,
yeah.
Subject and so forth. But we do need to have everyone having a say, so we can come and formulate some sort of thing. I myself don't have all the answers. Captain Ronnie here don't have all the answers, so we need your help as well, callers, to call in, and we need high-ranking officials. Kathy, you can reach out to some of those And
Oh yeah, no, that's easy. But the heart and blood and soul of this isn't the high-ranking officials. No offense to them,
No.
right? You know, they're there to support
But
what we got to do for this country. But that's why I wanted to get the conversation
Right.
from the people that are your lifeblood is this industry, right? That's why I wanted to talk to.
Right. So
We have to,
everybody in a whole need to just get onto this topic and let's drive it forward.
We have to go to a commercial break right now, guys, but we come back. I think we have 2 calls on hold, so let's get through the commercial break and keep talking to our listeners.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future,
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance,
or protecting your family's household investment.
from our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise
at Cayman Insurance Center. Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Message us at 925-3261 on WhatsApp today and get active with Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller. We are having a roundtable discussion on the fishing ban, and in studio with me, I have Jeremy Webster, owner-operator of Aquatic Adventures, and we have Mr. Ronnie Anglin, who is the president of Captain Marvin's, which is the longest-running water sports company in the Cayman Islands. Because he told me this, so I feel like I have to also include that in his introduction. So we have 2 more callers on the phone with us to give their input on the discussion we're having about the fishing ban on non-Caymanians. So let's take the longer waiting caller. Good morning. Thanks for calling The Buzz.
Morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. And your guest is Elvis McKeeba. How you guys doing?
I know you now from just saying morning. I know your voice. We're doing great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, when it comes, I ran for an election, another one gone the election before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of my main topics, 4, but one was the marijuana, you know that. The next was full scholarships for school children, right? And taxing 1% off of the billion that going through here. And 4th, and this was one that I picked up a lot of praise for and a lot of flack. Because I said, total ban, nobody on a work permit, nobody coming as a tourist can take any form of marine life or crabs or anything. Now, you had the group agreeing with that. But when I said, and those people that got their summer houses here and they winter houses, that their time, they think to come down with the lobsters and the conch, they should not be allowed to take anything either. Now, that touch the rich people too. Be careful how you stand up on those toes, So, I remember you talking about fishing there and there. I've been lobbying for this to be stopped for 20 years ago because I didn't run for election about getting paid, you know. I ran for election to get a message across, and it's finally coming across. We have, listen, on a fellas, on a born generational Caymanian, why do we have to ask foreigners what we have to do? You think you got America, the American to ask you what we think we should do? Man, stop being bleeding hearts, man. Stand up for you. Look out. But we have 3 little islands, and we have 1 million odd visitors coming here. If one of them, just one of them, or look at 2% of them take a fish or a conch or a lobster out of water, check it out. Check the percentage. We got 30,000 odd work permit. We can't allow these people to fish in, period. It's not about no license. Look here. I want to go along the road in the night and see who eating up the crabs and things. We getting wiped out, friends. And I don't see that one. And I try to support a full ban. But you see what happened to me now? People like me that talk about this thing, run an election for these things, I would never be in a committee or I would never be in a board. Well, no board, because Captain Maybury from down here with the government, he put me on a board and he put me on cardboard. So I will always be on the board, but it's the cardboard.
All right.
Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you for that. I love how you
Elvis.
ended that right there. Did you have any thoughts in response to what Elvis said?
I would just say thanks. I mean, he's absolutely correct. We need to do something. We need to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to talk about it? And do we need to open up the discussion? And whatever input I think we can get from whoever we can get it from, let's not beat them up about it. Let's just go ahead and accept the input.
Right.
Take everything on board, and let's try to make a good decision about it. But like he said, he's been talking about it for 20 odd years,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not like we can continue to talk about it for another 20 something years.
Right.
It's something we need to do something about now.
Agreed.
So we need to start somewhere.
All right, we got a second call to take right now. Good morning. Thank you for calling the Buzz.
Good morning, Miss Coffee.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. And good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mr. Ronnie would understand, know this voice. I fully support, I want to be a part of this, fully support this move that we are doing with the restrictions of fishing for certain people, non-Caymanians, because one, nobody respects your country than yourself, more than yourself. And when you have foreigners that come in the island and that are trendingly disrespecting the laws, and I say trendingly because I don't know how enforcement is difficult when you have a very, very transparent trend that's going on with people transporting fishing lines and fishing rods on bicycles every single day, mainly in the evening and in the mornings, while people are busy getting to work or busy coming from work. You have them going to spots that are very popular in fish activity, and they're abusing that privilege. And I think that it's about time that we can crack down on them, because what happened is, like we hear, the population of certain fish are depleting. We have endangering the parrotfish. I've said it already. I sent you a message about the importance of the parrotfish because of the dead corals that they eliminate. They help prevent the spread of a disease. Mm-hmm. And this is something that is natural. This is like an animal that is licking a cut. It helps prevent the spread of the disease. So we have people that do not care whether you give them a license, because they have a lot of the charters, Mr. Ronnie should know about this, that are very popular, that they bring tourists every day so they can catch lobsters and conchs. Now, I don't understand how is it that people hyper-focus on people that poaching conchs and lobsters, but don't hyper-focus on the people that are continuously doing like a conveyor belt of hunting these animals. It's almost the same exact way, just one does it in one time and another one does it in a period of all throughout the whole entire day because of business. And I think that's abuse on our environment. It's an abuse on our environment because some of those people don't have a limit. They might catch the limit, but they don't have a limit per day.
Right.
And there's no such thing as a limit per day for them. Business is business and strictly financial. They don't care about the environment.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. I appreciate your input as well. Gentlemen, any feedback towards that caller? What do you have to say?
I would say keep it coming.
Yeah.
That some good stuff and yeah.
Yeah, we need some more callers to definitely call in, and we need to hear from them. Very important to touch on those things there, caller. I really thank you for those words and those suggestions as well too. Yeah, we need to step it up. We need to look into this. We need some more input as well as this is a fresh new topic that we're starting out on. When it comes to the people, like you said, on the bicycles and so forth, traveling from different fishing spots and getting to these fishing zones. Some of these fishing zones are actually protected on the shoreline. Some of these are actually protected, you know, so they will get a good catch. You know, they're not supposed to be in there, but who is there to enforce them? They're there, you know, even to littering after they're having a beer, having food and fishing. I've noticed these spots have been trashed.
Yeah.
So who's even enforcing the littering as well too? Like where the enforcement on that section? It is important. These spots are being wiped out. When you used to, like I touched earlier on, when we used to see like the grogs and the bigger parrotfish, the galimbos come into the shoreline, you're not really seeing that. I saw, it was 2 years ago, I saw a huge galimbo off the shoreline of Burger King waterfront. And I was amazed. I was so amazed I couldn't even take out my phone to take a picture. I just had to take it all in. Beautiful fish. Love to see them. It's a pastime and they're not really around as much. Very important, caller. Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you, caller. And he always calls and gives us some constructive feedback. So I really appreciate him listening and joining the conversations. We have a message that did come in from a non-Caymanian person who likes to fish. Sure. Okay, so it's a really good message. So perspective from a non-Caymanian. Hi, Miss Kathy, a keen non-Caymanian angler here. And they didn't want to share their name, which I never do, but they said particularly for reasons that I've already discussed, you know. So I understand that, which is why it's hard to get non-Caymanians to talk about this kind of subject, right? So I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I don't think an outright ban will stop the overfishing. I think the first thing should be a license system. I think it should be an annual permit to begin for fish. Make it free for Caymanians. Make it, for example, $500 for a non-Caymanian resident of the islands. And make a day pass system for people who want to fish on their own as a tourist, or let them be covered under the charter captain's license if that's what they're doing. The annual fee won't stop all the problems with people filling their buckets of small fish, but it will at least sort the serious anglers from the people causing the problems, because proper anglers will happily pay it and will be willing to keep within the regulations. In the country where the listener is from, if you are illegally fishing, if a warden spot checks you and you don't have a permit for where you are, they call the police and they confiscate everything, including your car, if that's how you got to where you're fishing, or your boat. Wow. Inland fisheries. Inland fisheries in the country where this person is from issue a spot fine, and the police charge you an impound fee to get your car back. All of these permit fees, fines, etc. will help mitigate the cost of proper policing of the situation. We already have limits on size, Oh, okay. So anyone caught with undersized fish or anyone caught without a permit, let them be subject to the above. With the license system, let there also be some sort of formal education around size and marine parks, etc. I think that was a great comment that listener gave. And I love the fact that they mentioned something about some sort of a formal education, because I agree. Mm-hmm. And I know offline, Jeremy, you and I were talking, and I don't want to call out any particular culture or nationality of people. I'm not trying to do that. Yeah. But perhaps there is a particular culture or nationality that just doesn't have the awareness. You know, oh, we've got to go to the 9 a.m. news. But I'm leaving that thought with us to brew on for a little bit. And when we come back, we can tackle that.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Tonight, Cayman's homegrown talent that's shining abroad will be recognized and celebrated. 11 Caymanians will be honored at the 4th Making Waves Awards across a range of areas, from education and sports to legal and professional services. You can register your attendance by heading to CaymanConnection.org. It all starts at 6 o'clock at the Harkwell. In international news, the U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East is in Israel today and meeting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, with reports he may also visit aid sites in Gaza. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says 91 people have been killed while seeking aid in the past day, and 2 have died of malnutrition. The Israeli government does not allow international news organizations, including the BBC, into Gaza to report freely on the situation there. It comes as U.S. President Donald Trump says Canada's move to recognize a Palestinian state threatens a U.S.-Canada trade deal. Canada's announcement follows similar plans by the United Kingdom and France. And 8 people have been killed and more than 130 others were wounded in a barrage of Russian drones and missiles that struck several districts of Kyiv and brought down an apartment block overnight. A 6-year-old boy and his mother were among the dead as more than 24 locations across the capital have been hit. The mayor says 12 people were among the wounded, the biggest number of children wounded in Kyiv in one night since the full-scale war began. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I am your host, Kathy Miller, and we are talking about the proposed fishing ban on non-Caymanians. And I know I left you with a little thing to brew on that I said we would address after the 9 a.m. news, and that's more so about the education and the awareness of, okay, you really shouldn't be fishing the little juvenile fish. You really shouldn't be trying to catch those. So is it a cultural unawareness that some cultures may hold? Before I ask you to answer that, I just want to go back to a comment that did come in via WhatsApp, because they did say a little bit more, and I didn't read the entirety of their comments. So to finish off, this is from the non-Caymanian angler. They continue to say that there are so many honest, decent non-Caymanian anglers who take only what they need or not at all, who are going to suffer and lose a pastime that they are passionate and care about. And I understand that point too. I feel for them. I get it. I agree in the fact that I think there should be a license requirement of some sort, because those who you will pay to play how you want to play, right? So even when you go to an event and you might pay a regular whatever ticket, and then, you know, there might be the VIP ticket, but you know that you're going to pay for the VIP because you get all this extra, and you're like, you know, this is what I get for it. Mm-hmm. And this is the service. This is the kind of thing that I'm used to. Mm-hmm. So when you have a pastime, when there's something you want to do, you will pay, you will invest in that, right? You'll invest in yourself and in your pastimes. So a license thing, I don't think is a far outreach of an idea to do. I think it's something that we should absolutely consider. I personally am against banning non-Caymanians because I do feel it's discriminatory. And I do feel, especially since that law was repealed in 2013, I'm almost like, okay, well, we're going around this again. Could the same thing happen? Could the law be repealed again? But do we need to amend things? I agree that we do. And as a non-Caymanian, it is a problem with what is going on with the marine life. I believe we do need to protect our resources and have different measures to, for this protection to happen. That's my stance on it, my personal stance on it, right? Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I agree that we have to have some protection for sure. It shouldn't be a free-for-all, and you got to know what you're doing out there. So when it comes to the awareness culturally, are you finding that there's certain cultures that just don't have no awareness when it comes to fishing at all?
Well,
how can we change that?
Well, one of the things is focusing on sustainability, stressing the importance of sustaining the fish on the reef and so forth, and the pelagic fish that are coming back and returning to the islands and so forth, seasonally. We need to protect them. It goes without saying. You know, just imagine one day I packed up my boat, filled it up with fuel, got everything, I'm on a charter or just going out with a family, and there's no fish. Mm-hmm. We're just going boating now. That's it. Mm-hmm. So I understand there are different cultures and different nationalities and so forth. We are a melting pot here, if everyone's here. And it is a free-for-all. And this needs to be addressed. Like I said, it goes without saying. The importance of having this pastime still lived in 2025 is amazing. It's really amazing, truly amazing that we are still here. We can still see turtles and lobsters. For example, look at how we have banned or minimized how we can obtain a spear gun or a spear fishing license. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really not a free for all at all, right?
I thought it was illegal now that you can.
It is illegal, but you can get it via like transfer. If you get it transferred, like say if Captain Ronnie, if I was farming the captain, you can transfer it down to me. It had to be true family members. You'd have everybody shooting the fish off the reef, and I mean everything, which is easier than hoping that the fish bite your line. And
I want to interject a tiny bit. But having the ability, or no longer having the ability to use spear guns, has that also affected, I want to say, your connection with fishing?
I would say...
You feel like you're part of your rights and livelihoods being taken away.
All right. For example, I can air this as well too. 10 years ago, I got in trouble for a spear gun. All right. I've not touched it since. I would say it has not changed my livelihood to fishing. It actually made me a little bit more patient and more understanding about fishing, how to traditionally fish.
Okay.
Instead of just pulling a trigger and shooting a fish, and hopefully a shark doesn't or a barracuda don't come and take it off. It's a whole different style of fishing. I don't think it's for everyone. It takes tremendous skill to hold your breath for an excess amount of time. I would say like 30 seconds or a minute. Mm-hmm. Get down under the pressure and shoot the fish, aim, shoot the fish, get him back up, all that. However, traditional fishing, not everyone is a spear fisher. Let's touch back on people just fishing like that. No, it has to be the general public has to be knowledgeable towards this. When it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we did see numbers more so than we see now. There are countries, we do understand that, and the nationals are here, not stepping on anyone's toes, but they might not have the sustainable, the government is not educating them, or they have no laws, you know, so they come to Cayman and we are not enforced, or we have a law and it's not being enforced. It's easily swept on, and they can just easily just take on whatever and take small fish. No one's enforcing them. Who's going to stop them? They're probably out at 2 o'clock in the morning, probably 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the day. You never know. Everyone's everywhere, you know. So it takes, when we talk about the topic of license and so forth, I think those funds need to be reinvested into the DOE for proper protection and preservation and educating the public. There should be probably clinics set in place that we can educate the younger ones and even the elder folks, the general public. We Kathy, honestly, we are at a staggering amount of individuals on the island, foreign nationals and Caymanians alike as well too. More so near, we were at 10 years ago, we were like 60,000 or so, 50,000. Now we're closer to 80. 90,000, you see what I'm saying? And can everyone go and fish? That's what we're wondering. Are we going to still have the stocks and the resources that we once had in the past time? Captain Ronnie can probably touch on that, how it was back in the days versus now. So let's get everyone on board. Let's have some healthy discussion. Let's hear some feedback from some callers, and let's get some other people on the show. More than one show you're going to have. So let's keep it going, and we can formulate something good will come about it, I would say.
Yeah. Ronnie, what's your take on the cultural awareness, or perhaps not having any awareness when it comes to some people's methods of fishing?
How do you make sure that they get that information? You have to start there. So are they going to get it by going into a store, picking up a rod and reel and some hooks and stuff? Probably not. If you have to get a license, that might be part of it. Okay. If you speak a different language, you might get it in your language where you sit down, you listen to it, right? But that's part of the education process, and we can't leave the education process out of this. It's as important as the issue of enforcement.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, they kind of go hand in hand, because while ignorance is no excuse about the law, we can cut off a lot of that by just saying, this is Cayman, this is how things are done, and if it's not done this way, here are the repercussions for it.
Yes.
Right? So I think it's very important. A couple of callers back, they talked about making a citizen's arrest. So I just want to say to them, if they're still around, we used to have what they called rangers or marshals, that they could go ahead and report this in. The OE at the time didn't have the ability to go ahead and actually lock somebody up and stuff like that. Several administrations ago, I think it was on the Panton, they got that ability, right? Government themselves can't cover every single hour out of the day. But if people are aware that just a private citizen who might be out on the beach and walking and this type of stuff can come up and ask for this, show you that they are a member of government or a ranger or something or the other.
Or a warden, as one of the text messages came in and said.
Yeah, just something like that to say, let me see the fish. So I think we continue with the education process. I don't think we can leave the people that we have who are capable of making the laws and stuff right now out of this. I think, you know, I think we need to get something done. We need to get it done now. And the reason I say that is that we get more and more new Caymanians every year. I think we had about 20% more new Caymanians voting in the last election. And if we continue that process, how long is it before generational Caymanians, right, no longer have a say at all, right? So, yes, we need to do something. We need to do it now. We need our lawmakers at the table, if nothing else, to be educated in what new laws we might need to put in place to just survive. And that's where we're at. Okay. So I think we got some great calls.
We got to go to hopefully we will. We got to go to I think we do got a call coming in right now, but we got to go to commercial break right now. So we'll take the break, and hopefully we'll talk to that caller if they're still there after the break. And then we're going to have to wrap a show. I know. It's been great.
Yeah.
Cruise into summer with expert service from Automotive Art Cayman. More than a retail store, it's your one-stop auto care shop. We offer paint, detailing, accessories, wheels, Yamaha parts and products, batteries, tire repairs, tire changes, and more. Need top-tier shine and protection? Grab Gliptone detailing gear, Chevron synthetic oil, and Axiom car care kits. Get expert service with premium products all under one roof. Wherever you cruise, make your pit stop at Automotive Art first. Find us on Shedden Road and follow us at Auto Art KY on Instagram and Automotive Art Cayman on Facebook.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Who will be the next Miss Universe Cayman Islands? Join us on the 9th of August, 7 p.m. at the Westin Ballroom to see our 4 beautiful ladies vying for the crown. Purchase your tickets on Eventpro and at Funky Monkey today. VIP tickets are also available. Come out and support your favorite contestant. A special thanks to our main sponsors, the Cayman Islands Ministry of Tourism, Cayman Airways, Compass Media, Radio Cayman, Caymanian Times, King Sports Center, The Finishing Touch, Kirk Freeport, Cayman Medical Center Limited, Crystal Caves, Woodlands Corporation, and the Physiotherapy Center.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we are in our last, maybe 15 minutes of the show. I have Ronnie Anglin, Captain Ronnie Anglin, but he's president of Captain Marvin's, and I have Jeremy Webster, who's the owner-operator of Aquatic Adventures. And we're having the discussion on the fishing ban, and we were talking about just now, some cultural differences when it comes to understanding the fishing etiquette, the fishing, I guess, unwritten rules per se, and there's some clear rules when it comes to fishing. The cultural kind of awareness, what people might not know. And Ronnie, I actually really like your suggestion that should there be something where you do apply for a license, that part of the education comes with your license. And I'm almost thinking, why not a test? If we got to test people for their PR, so why not some sort of a test like this? Like, did you study this material? Can you go through this test? Can you answer these questions? Then you get your license. Maybe that's not practical, but so looking at kind of other solutions towards some of the restrictions or some of the other ideas, there's been thoughts of gear restrictions. So if you're just fishing, this is where you guys are going to laugh at me because you already told me this. You corrected me.
From shore?
Yes. When you're
okay.
Standing on the land, not on the boat.
Yeah.
Yes. When you're standing on the land and fishing, there's been suggestions. I think it's Norway is the country that has you have gear restrictions, so you can only have a certain amount or a certain kind of size or type of gear. And I know you're looking at me way, Jeremy, but I'm not a fisherman, so I can't repeat what those exact items were.
I mean,
but gear restrictions, would that help?
But it's just like the one suggestion that I got that from a fisherman who said maybe we need to stop selling these small hooks.
Right.
So that's a gear restriction type thing. So yeah.
Then that's what I thought of when you said that. I was like, that might be a really, really good solution right there. One of them.
Yeah.
Touching on the topic about small hooks and hooks in general, I know one of the most important things for like catch and release, like even for sport fishing for tarpon, is the circle hook. That's a very good way. I mean, the general public needs to be educated on how to fish and how to fish in a safe way, in a safe manner.
Yes.
I've noticed using a circle hook can pin the fish right in the mouth corner, and it can safely release as well. You can still retrieve your fish as well, but it doesn't cause gill damage and getting it down in the bladder and all that, all these different stuff. And it doesn't kill the fish basically. Gear restriction, we do have we don't sell spear guns on island, and you can't obtain no parts as well. That's another gear restriction, that we cannot utilize spear guns and have everyone having a free-for-all shooting and even using it in the wrong manner, like of course hurting someone domestically or so forth. We need to look on I don't know, Captain Ron, what do you think about it? Any other gear restrictions? I can't think of.
I think we need to look at all of those things, and I think we need to stop making excuses for putting Caymanians first in Cayman. Other countries do it with different things. If you want to own a casino in the U.S., you got to be a Native American. If you want to, take somebody down to the James Cook statue in Hawaii, you got to be a native Hawaiian. One of 3 companies to go ahead and do it, or you can climb down the 1,600 feet or whatever. Bermuda, Bahamas, all those places. So we need to stop this thing about making excuses about Caymanians and putting things in place to protect Caymanians. We're an island, and we're not like the rest of the Caribbean, where we've got neighboring islands and stuff around to help us with fish stock and different things like that. We're out in the middle of the Caribbean, right? And we need to sit down and talk seriously about recognizing the need to protect our generational Caymanians, and that'll come about. We just need to get a different definition even for people that are here, giving them certain rights, and versus a generational Caymanian, and how to talk about these so that everybody feel respected and a part of this country, but stop making excuses about the fact that we need to protect generational Caymanians. It has to happen. We're a small island, and we're getting the whole planet has gotten more people. So yes, we're going to get our share of it, and as we get people on the island, we're going to get probably the 80% of these people are great people, right? Then we're going to have 20% that we really need to keep an eye on them, right? As we do this and we welcome in the rest of the world to these islands, we have to stop making excuses about protecting Caymanians. We need to recognize that we need to do it, and Cayman in general. So I'll leave it at that, and hopefully we hear a lot more roundtable discussions about this, and everybody get to put input.
Yeah, and I guess we're coming to the close soon. The last thing we need is we do need enforcement to help us out. It goes without saying. I mean, Steve Wonder can see that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And the last thing we need is somebody at the top gerrymandering around and playing a fool and keeping the money to themselves. Or
who you say can see that?
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
So
that hit you like 30 seconds later.
Yeah. I know. Grenade.
He like that Wonder Man. Yeah. But it's very It's very important, right? We need the enforcement. We need the education. Everyone should be educated. I think also too, certain things should be held back for strictly only Caymanians. Like for example, I mean, you can't expect someone from a different country to come and show the tourists our stingrays and so forth. Just saying, you know. Like,
I mean, this is the number one thing I noticed when I moved here.
Yeah.
It wasn't Caymanians taking me to the tourist spots.
Right. We need to have the Caymanians out into the tourist spots. And I mean, of course, it has kind of spiraled out of control. Everybody can come and be a tour operator. Everyone can come here and show off the Cayman product and do so. Majority of the times I've been to, for example, you know, the caves and different places. And there is not much Caymanians, and we need to get them on board. They need to come out in numbers. Long gone are the times that you need to be in a bank and you need to be probably just a law firm or insurance or so forth. This is a way of life.
Absolutely.
This is a product that we need to protect and preserve, and it needs to be here for the Caymanians. We have opened the gates to the world, you know, the Cayman kind of way. And we are kind people. We are lovely people here. You know, we respect people. We're grown on being respectful, being God-fearing people of the islands. The praying people of the Cayman Islands from past times have had their hands, and God has had his hands over these islands. And it's very important for us to preserve it.
Absolutely. And as Luigi Moxham of Cayman Cabana would say, we have to be guardians of the culture.
Of course.
This is one of the ways to start. We have a WhatsApp call, I believe. So it's the last call that we can take because we've got to wrap in a few minutes. Good morning. Thank you for calling The Buzz.
Hello, good morning, Miss Carter. Rambo speaking.
Hey,
morning.
How you doing, Rambo?
Blessings. Morning to the guests.
Good morning, Rambo.
2 days ago, morning. 2 days ago, I got some Florida acquaintance, and the lobster season open up in Florida, right?
Mini season.
So they're like lobster.
Yeah, it's called
Florida.
mini season when they can, I think if I'm not mistaken, they can take as much lobster as they want.
Exactly. That's amount. And
as much as they want.
That time, right, there were long-term concerns, the short-term wins, right? In the Cayman context now, overfishing needs an urgent curtail and regulatory measures. Right? We the Cayman natives now under pressure across the board now, right? And there's saturation overload in the commute on a daily basis, right? And you have immigrants that abuse with the fishing on the bay or on the island shore. They abuse it. Juvenile fish, right? And I don't know the next admin will be 2029, right? Will they denounce this, write it off, or have a preposition, commensurate equipment with provisions, right? But we need zoning protection in the commercial tie, like I said earlier on. And Cayman now, like I've been vocal all week on the radio, but Caymans, we also have a tendency reciprocating back and forth. Because anywhere else in the world, any jurisdictions, they're stringent and strict for the natives, right? They get the benefit of the doubt in the natives, but we Caymanians though, we like outcast, replicated, or whatever. So, like I said again, next admin, we see 4 years ago. Have a good day, Ms. Carter.
All right, Rambo. Thank you so much. Thanks for your input and for listening and for the support as always.
You know, Kathy, one of the things before we close off, I was on, like Captain Ron said, you know, we have to get the licensing in place, right? Now, for example, Kathy, you're on the shoreline fishing. Yeah. How can I say Kathy is a Caymanian or an American or a UK citizen?
And I've been here 20 years. I am not Caymanian.
You know.
But you know how many people say you're Caymanian?
Yeah, but you look Caymanian.
You look, but I thought you were Caymanian, but I went to school with your mother. So there's so many people who just think this about me.
So the discriminatory thing about it is, you know, what are you gonna have? Where do you display this license on your forehead or something like?
Oh, but Kathy's Caymanian. We know that.
That's the next thing.
Yeah.
Then we look on from the shoreline and we say, oh, maybe that's probably some sort of foreign national. I don't want to call but some sort of foreign national. That's not a Cayman. Let's get him. And then you come to find out that's a Caymanian. You know, it's going to be a tedious approach, but it is possible to still implement these licenses. But it's going to be a tedious approach, I say.
And
Captain, what do you have to say?
if you are supportive of this and you hold your license, you have no problem having that ID on you and proving who you are. You have no problem
It's like
complying.
a driver's license.
Exactly.
And right, it's like a driver's license.
Yeah.
Which I've lost mine, so there's that.
Well, we got to call the cops on you then.
Don't say that too
so they
loud.
can help you out.
But yes, I mean, it kind of like I was suggesting with the boat licensing, right? It could start with CI or whatever, right? So if you got a license, right? Your driver license always has like which group
Right.
the license is and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that can easily be replaced with CI,
Right.
whatever, right? Or whatever the license might be. So if you have somebody who is non-Caymanian but they have a fishing license, then it should specify then what that person can do. Is it catch and release? So if it's catch and release, what are you doing with 10 fish in your opinion? Right?
Right, exactly.
think-
When are you going to release them?
Tomorrow.
After you ate them? Like, hello?
Yeah. So, I mean, we have the solutions, and we need to hear more of people's opinions on it. But I don't think we need to, belabor the thing for another 5 years. And
Definitely not another 20 years.
Not another dock discussion or port discussion. We don't need
Like I
that.
said-
We don't need 20 years of talk.
Like I said, the DOE has been talking. I've seen an article from 10 years ago saying that action needs to happen. It's in bold letters, N-O-W.
Now. Completely agree with you.
No.
And I think that's what, I mean, with this administration, I think they're trying to roll out a bunch of stuff and, start kind of making those punches. We have a caller. The show's supposed to be ended, but the caller said they'd be really quick. So we said, okay, we'll allow this final thought here. So good morning. Thank you for calling the Buzz.
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to say that I just want to make sure we're not losing sight of the fact that I hear it back and forth about licensing and paying for license for people, non-Caymanians, to be licensed, but that's besides the point. The point is we're licensing people to take the fish that eventually are going to be gone, and then what we have for it, we have a pile of money that we got from people paying fees, but then the fish are gone. So where does that lead us? So we can't lose sight of that. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, caller. And we did touch on, further restrictions. It could be there's no restrictions on actual fish. So we did talk about that being a possibility. Maybe seasonal things as well. So I'm getting the signal that I've got to wrap the show. So I'm going to wrap the show, but I'm going to go through just a few of the WhatsApps that we did get, text messages. I want to make sure these people are heard. Morning, Kathy. With regard to education, maybe a fishing permit can be tied to completing a mandatory fishing education course in getting a certificate of attendance. If government implemented an ID for every work permit holder, then that would help in identifying non-Caymanians. So that brings it back to a national ID thing as well, which is a bit of a hairy topic. Another message that came in said, small hooks, what I know about is the Jamaicans use them to catch doctor fish and squabs, speaking to one of them myself. We can't approach this with a fear to discriminate when we're dealing with protection of our environment. It's not a crime to ask for ID when you're doing certain activities. And the person shouldn't be offended if they know this is an ongoing enforcement. Something has to move and get the ball rolling. And I agree with a couple of those last points made there. One final thought. My thoughts on the fishing ban for non-Caymanians is a suggestion. The government should reduce duty on seafood, especially fish. I feel this reduction could greatly help to solve the shoreline fishing issue. This little sacrifice could be more effective. I don't think the ban alone is not enough.
Excellent. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
So that was a different idea, for sure.
Yeah. And I just want to point out that I'm not talking about only non-Caymanians having a fishing license. I'm including Caymanians in that.
That's correct.
Because some of our Caymanians are some of the most destructive people that we have with our marine environment. And I think they need to go through the same process and the same education process as anybody else, so we understand the ramifications of overfishing and taking stuff and taking things during spawning season and all this type of thing. I think the whole education process on this is long overdue, and I think this is a great start to it. But I think we need to continue to do so.
Also, going forward, real quickly, it should be taught in our schools as well, too, for the upcoming generations. They should be educated on the importance of sustainability, keeping the fish, keeping the reefs, keeping the environment, even up to littering, and keeping the environment safe. Not throwing trash in the water, not trash in the mangroves. These are important stuff. The mangroves not only for fish, but for the hurricanes, we need our mangroves. So let's stop thinking about it. Let's start some actions, have some healthy discussion around this. Let's have the callers calling in. Very good thoughts and suggestions from the callers. So let's have it. Let's entertain it.
Absolutely. And I want to say a really big thank you to both of you, and also to Frank Thompson and Josh Ebanks for joining in the earlier segment this morning on the discussion. Very important to have your perspectives, your voices, your thoughts. It might not be the easiest discussion to have, but it gets the ball rolling. And as we said, we've had so many people call in, text, give some ideas, or just, share their sentiments, right? So hopefully we'll have it again. Hopefully we'll have this talk. Charles Glidden might have the talk on Talk today as well. So I know at Radio Cayman, we're going to do what we can do to keep the conversation going, especially with something that will be in public consultation.
Great idea.
This is about the future of the Cayman Islands and sustaining the Cayman Islands and preserving the culture and being guardians of your own culture here. And this is where it begins. So,
and hope to be back soon.
You will be. I'll bring you back soon. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Enjoy your final day of July. So crazy. August starts tomorrow. It's Friday Eve. So enjoy the weekend as it comes to you. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Automotive Art Cayman. Your car, our passion.
You are listening to Radio Cayman.